Evening, everybody. Thank you for coming and watching. Tonight, we've got an interview with Tristan and Cayleigh. They'll be fighting on the 3rd of June, come Kings K1 in Menlyn Barnyard. Just here today to get a chat with them, know about them, find out who they are as athletes, people, fighters, what we can expect on the night. Just basically getting a rundown on who them are. So just jumping into it, we're looking with Cayleigh on our left there. So, hey, Cayleigh, how you doing?
Hi guys, hi everyone.
Very well, thank you. And as you can see, that would be Tristan on her left, our right. How you doing, Tristan?
Hi, good on you.
Good, good, good. Cayleigh, I'd like to jump in with you first. You are fighting a catchweight fight now against Rachel Foreman, right? You'll be doing a 54 kg to a 59 kg weight class. How's it been going in preparation for this K1 fight, seeing it is your first K1 that you'll be doing?
Yeah, so it's been going good. We've been in camp now for a little while with our nationals in kickboxing and MMA that have just been passed. So I feel that we are on a good level right now. It's just to keep building up to the K1 fights. Obviously, I also have had a Muay Thai fight before, so I am hoping that that's beneficial in the K1 ring. But my team and my brother here next to me, we've all been working really hard to make sure the styles are blending well. So I feel it's a good, positive camp, and it's a good place to be right now.
Okay, great. And then tell me, do you know much about your opponent that you're going to be going against? Have you been doing any special training for her?
So it's actually very ironic and funny. I've been training with her coach every single weekend for the MMA, and he was actually in my corner as my coach, as my second coach in at the MMA Nationals. So I do know a little bit about him. When we were at the kickboxing nationals 2 weeks ago, I saw her fight. She saw me fight. So we know each other by now. We know each other's coaches. So it's been an interesting story building up. Her coach knows exactly what I do. So it's hard to prepare specifically for someone, but we know so much about each other already. It just
Mm.
depends on the night or not.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you fight your own campmates, which is kind of a bad place. But sometimes in the fight game, we end up fighting people that are in the same gym as us, the same camp as us. My theory has always been to fight harder than I would have fought anybody else, to show respect back to that gym or my gym that I'm in. Do you have the same kind of mentality? Will you fight her as hard as you'd fight anybody else?
Absolutely. I think as an athlete, whenever you get into a ring, a cage, or on a tatami match, you go in there to give your absolute best, no matter who's standing in front of you. I mean, you have to, as you've mentioned now, you need to respect your opponent, but you also need to respect yourself as an athlete. You can't go in there now and make a joke out of something that is actually to be taken seriously. When you get opportunities to fight promotions like K1 Kings and higher promotions, you don't not go in there to do your absolute best. You go in there to showcase your full potential.
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned you've done some Muay Thai. I know I watched your Muay Thai fight. It was a lovely fight. I always thought that you are lending your way towards more of a K1 style. So I am expecting this K1 fight to be right up your alley, really. You don't have to worry about a clinch. You don't have to worry about the continuous knees or the elbows. So it could be very well for you because you are quite an energetic little fighter. I must be honest with you. You get around that ring quite quickly. And you do seem to use your angles very well, which is something that I enjoy watching in a fighter, which shows good fight IQ. And also coming from that gym, I know you're being trained in that fight IQ mentality. So before we move on to your brother, just a shout out or something to some of the guys and ladies that will be watching you on the night, coming to support you. What do you have to say to them?
Yeah. I do want to say that I appreciate everybody that's been coming out to come and watch fights and help support the athletes. And obviously I also want to thank my coaches and my crew for backing me up no matter win or lose, but that they're always in my corner. And then I also have to give a shout out to Madeline Marloth, who's really been very inspiring for me over the last little while. I've chatted quite a bit to her and my previous opponent, Sonia, as well. And then another athlete, another female athlete who I fought at the MMA Nationals, Genevieve. Those three ladies, as well as my sister, Jaden Labuskachny, have been very inspirational for me in my last few months of fighting and as an athlete. And it's really been amazing to see how the females are starting to support each other to the point where even my mom has gotten into it now. So it's been really amazing to see how we've started building our own little community to bring each other up and help each other as fighters and with sparring partners. So I really have to give a shout out to them. I really appreciate that.
Well, that's, at the end of the day, we get in there and we fight, but it's actually like a really big family within South Africa with the fighting community. So that's wonderful to hear. You get in and you beat each other silly and you get out and go have a coffee together. It's unbelievable. So
Absolutely.
all the best for your fight. I'm super excited to see you in the ring. We're so happy to have you being part of Kings K1. And we look forward to your fight on the 3rd of June.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
So moving right along to your brother sitting right next to you over there, Tristan, you are going up against Daniel Jacobs. This is also your first full contact K1 fight. Tell me, same thing. Have you been doing something in camp, something different? What's going on? We're trying to see what your game plan is.
So I haven't really seen much of Daniel's fights. I haven't seen anything on him actually, really. So nothing's changed specifically in this camp. It's just been, preparing for kickboxing nationals, for MMA nationals, as Cayleigh mentioned before. Just sharpening my game in basically every aspect that I possibly can, exploring every little bit of martial arts that I can, everything from angles, clinch work. Also, obviously, been doing a lot of stand-up training recently. And I've been doing it with a really, really great team. And, well, basically my whole family just gets in on every Friday and we just start, hitting each other. And everyone's big smiles afterwards. We'll go watch a movie as a family kind of thing,
So that's interesting that you said. I know I haven't seen many of your fights. I managed to catch a little bit of your MMA national fight there. It was a hard fight that you went through there. What kind of fighter are you? Are you a very aggressive fighter? Are you a tactician? Do you counter strike without giving away your game plan? Just a little heads up on what kind of style of fight we might anticipate from you.
I wouldn't say I'm an aggressive fighter specifically. I would say I am more tactical, kind of chess match, setting up movements and sometimes a little bit of countering, but I will bring pressure forward if I see both of us are stagnating too much, then I will put pressure forward.
Yeah, I'm with you. So basically I'm hearing a guy that hasn't had just one or two fights. He's training in a camp that knows what they're doing. He's been around fighters for most of his life, I can imagine. So the fact that this is your first K1 fight is actually not like your first fight ever. It's just your first fight in this style. So it could be quite an energetic fight to see. I know Daniel's also coming in, I think, for his first K1 as well. It's a very close matchup between the two of you. And the nice thing about being the first Kings K1 in South Africa, you pretty much set the tone for your division going forward. So pretty much if you win this fight, you pretty much top of your division until you lose a fight. So that is something to keep in mind as well going into these fights. So what I'd like to close off with just a personal understanding. You guys say you come from a martial arts family. What is it like growing up in this family and having like Ashley part of MMA and fighting in the big arenas? Does it drive you? Does it put extra pressure? What's it like for people that have no concept of the fight game?
Like to
Anyone? She's like, you answer this one, Tristan.
So it hasn't been too long that we've known Ash, but in the time that we have known Ash, the amount of time we spent with him, like under his tutelage, with him training us and preparing us for our fights, being in our corner at every single competition, even when he's not, technically allowed to be there, he'll be 5 meters away shouting for us what to do. So he's elevated our game dramatically. His knowledge and his fight IQ that he's imparted onto us is incredible. And I don't think we'd have gotten to where we are today specifically if it wasn't for him teaching us and helping us to fight that said game. And we were also super privileged in that sense to have the gym on the property, which we during like COVID, for instance, when other people were, not privileged enough, unfortunately, to be able to train consistently, we had the opportunity to train every day in that sense.
Yeah.
So I feel that's given us a little bit of a head start as well.
Okay, lovely. Well, I mean, you can't blame me for fishing. We're just trying to get to know you more. So I think we'll get
100%.
to know both. We'll get to know both of you a lot more come the fights on the 3rd of June. Bring your fans, bring your friends, tell everybody about the fights. We are excited about it, and we look forward to having you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time just to come and chat to us tonight so we can get to know you, and see you then.
Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Thank you for this
Sven.
opportunity.
We appreciate it.
Have yourself a lovely evening. Cheers,
Thank
You too.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.